Hey folks, I don't normally do reviews like this. This is kind of an oddball item. This is the Spark Go amp. This is a little tiny battery powered practice amp and Bluetooth speaker. You can use it as that separately. And for the price, it's actually a pretty good one. Made by Positive Grip. They are a company that's been doing software-based amps with some hardware for many years. They've been getting more and more into the hardware. This is the current latest model. They scale. They have big ones, they have medium, they have this one. And by big, I don't mean big. They're still home amps, right? This is the one for people like me. I'm trying to not piss off my neighbors by playing loud. I'm not trying to vibrate the floor. I'm not trying to interfere with their sleep. This lets me play guitar, relatively low volume, but it sounds good. However, the reviews on it have been lacking some important stuff to make your decision. Let's go over it. One, it's a reasonably solid piece of equipment. It doesn't feel cheap or light, but it isn't super heavy. If you're packing this on vacation, like, it's not going to be a brick. Sits pretty stably, big, wide, flat bass. I haven't had any issues with it falling over. Haven't had any issues with it at all. It has worked excellent for like a week that I've had it. Volume is key. Like, that's what this is about, right? When they do the reviews, I can never tell how loud it is. I can never tell, is it going to be loud enough to hear over my air conditioning? Is it going to be too quiet? Is it going to be too loud? And if I turn it down, it sounds like crap. That's a problem with a lot of amps, right? You get your tone set and you turn it down to bedroom levels and you're like, it sounds rubbish. You're not allowed to swear on YouTube in your first 5 minutes, so I had to beep out that previous swear word, right? Anyway, it sounds incredible at low volume. Now, this is not going to compete with $1,000 amps, $2,000, $3,000 amps. That's not what it's about. But I can dial in a sound with an amp based on those amps in seconds, and it sounds like those amps. It doesn't sound quite as good. There's not quite that depth to it, right? But it's a couple tiny little speakers and a Bluetooth amp. You got to be realistic. This is $100 on sale right now, $130 normally, and it's, like, it's the size. It's smaller than my freaking hand. When you keep in mind that it is a home bedroom practice amp, the sound quality is incredible. The clarity, the variety. You turn up the gain, it sounds like you turned up the gain. It doesn't get all nasty. You turn up the volume, it still stays good. Because this is 100% modeling. So you can dial in your amp as if you have everything cranked and then turn the volume down. And all you did was like turning down the speakers, turning down your radio, right? That's what you're doing. You're turning down the radio, listening to a recording of somebody using that amp. That's what you get. You do get a lot of depth to the amps. I was really impressed. I was not expecting a whole lot there. I've used the Bias FX and the Bias amp simulators on the computer for years and years. That's not what's in here. It's based on it. They're using that modeling technology and everything, but it's not the same. And a small little device, you don't have a ton of processing power. Like, this is not a high power machine. I was not expecting a lot. I got a lot. They really do sound good. If you pick an amp that is very touch responsive and you set it up like you would the real amp and you play, it's touch responsive. If you add a drive pedal in front of that amp and you dig in, it really goes. But if you play soft or you roll the guitar back a little bit, you can clean it up and still have that gain pedal there. You get a little of that crunch, but it's not really hitting the amp hard. Really, honestly, excellent. Now, something that absolutely does not get talked about that 100% should, you need the app to set this up. You do not need the app to use it. You could take this to the local coffee shop. Find the local techie musician guy. They're always in the coffee shop, right? Take it to Guitar Center. I don't care. Can we dial in 4 presets and go save to the device? Preset 1, 2, 3, 4. Done. And then you don't need the app. Done. Gone. Click the button to switch between your presets. If you don't need to change anything on those presets, you don't need the app. I have not used the app since the day I got this a week ago. It's been a week ago today. I haven't used it. I pulled it out today to see where my battery level was because there's no real battery meter. The LED tells you charged, low. That's it. Like, it doesn't tell you anything else other than charging. You do not need to be sitting there with the app. I think that's key. A lot of us, like, I don't like using the app while I'm playing. I'm not unique. In fact, I am more app friendly than a lot of people. This is a great tool. I get everything I want, and I can just, if I want to change my tone, I go click, 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 click. I switch between my presets. I've got two clean-ish, very bluesy kind of setups. A Marshall just on the edge of breakup. If I really hit the guitar, if I had a humbucker guitar going, I'm going to get a little crunch. And then I've got the same setup with my drive pedal going, and yeah, it's a much harder sound, right? It's a much more aggressive sound. That's it. I got 4 presets. They do most of what I need. If I need more, I can go to my app, pick another preset, but I don't need to do that to use the device. If you need one of the 4 presets, sure, but day to day, for what this is intended for, you probably don't. You probably need 2, to be honest. Which leads to the main gripe. I already gave you my battery gripe, but my main gripe is kind of the flip side of the app issue. The app is very limited. I think it's intentional, and I don't know if it's only for this one and the larger ones have more flexibility or not. I don't know. I've never played with them. So somebody, please comment. Do the larger ones not do this? And what I'm talking about is you have 7 slots for things in the signal chain, but they are locked. So the first one, noise gate, that's it. You get it's one noise gate. You can set it up how you want, but it's one noise gate. The second one is a compressor and a wah. One or the other. You can't have both. You can't make it anything else. There's a variety of compressors and wahs, and you can pick whichever one you want. One, and that's where it sits. You can't move it. The next one, drive pedal. Boost, drive, overdrive, distortion, whatever you want. One. Just one. Pick your pedal. You can turn it on and off at 2, but you get one. Then there's the amp. You can pick an amp. It comes with the cab sim. That's it. There's no playing with that. On the other hand, there's such a variety of amps that if you don't like the cab setup from one, just pick another one in the same genre and you're good. Every single one I tried sounded good. It might not have been for me, but I didn't feel like I needed to play with it. Like they picked the right cab sim to go with that amp. The things people do with that amp, that's the cab they put in. So, and you get the idea. This continues all the way through. You get, one EQ or modulation pedal. I'm using the EQ to balance my volume between my different presets because, a hot Marshall versus a quiet Tweed, you gotta tweak that. I wanted all my presets to be at the same output volume without having to worry about where I was at on the amp in terms of their output. And then delay and reverb. And two separate slots, by the way. Delay is a slot, reverb is a slot. I think that's actually good. Like once I got over my, it's not like bias where I can shuffle things and do whatever I want until I run out of processing power. It really lets me focus on what matters here. This is a practice amp. This is a home bedroom practice amp. It isn't about dialing in sounds like so-and-so. And I think that's where this shines. And that's why I bought it. I was hoping, I just didn't have high hopes. My expectations for this were, it'll get the job done. I was gonna do like a Marshall MG10, but I didn't like some of the limitations on it. An MG15 was honestly probably gonna be too loud if I made it sound good. A little orange, but that's pretty limited. I was like, what do I pick? What do I get? There's a whole lot of options, but I didn't want to spend a lot of money. I didn't want one of the $400 Yamaha ones. A Boss Katana would have been a good option. I could turn it way down, but it's still a big speaker. It's not a near field speaker like these. This, I run it like there. I'm sitting at my desk, and it's sitting in front of my monitor, like underneath, facing me, playing guitar in my chair. That's how I use it, and it works great. It's absolutely astounding how good it is. You heard my gripes. Okay, I don't think it's perfect. I think that having an easy and an advanced mode on the app maybe would be good, which is why I'm curious about the bigger units because they can have more processing power. I don't know how the slots work for them. So hey, bias, positive grid. If you want to send me one of the bigger ones to try out, I'm game. But I'm not buying one. I don't need one. I will send it back. But yeah, guys, if you are like me and you are a just home guitar player having fun, or if you are somebody who travels, if you are a professional looking for something to use when you can't bring and use your big stuff, check these out. Just keep in mind, if you go to like a guitar store, that is not quiet. If you're going to a Guitar Center, Sam Ash, and you're playing one of these with other people messing around, you're not getting the right experience. Take it into a quiet room. Ask them if you can go into an office or something and play it. I think that's the true experience of this, is when you can have it 4 feet, 5 feet in front of you, and there isn't a ton of ambient noise, because then you can appreciate what this is really doing. So anyway, take care, have fun, stay safe, and enjoy your guitar.